She married an outlaw to save her family. The year was 1878, and the dust of the western plains carried more sorrow than rain. In the small dying town of Hollow Creek, every house leaned like tired men, every fence broken, every field thirsty. The railroad had passed them by 2 years ago, and with it went money, hope, and most of the young men. Those who stayed behind survived on cattle, prayer, and stubbornness. Among them lived Eliza Harper, 22 years old, with eyes sharp as flint and a heart stronger than iron. She had never asked life for much. A roof that didn't leak, bread enough for supper, medicine for her sick mother, shoes for her little brothers. But life had given her hardship instead. Her father had died under a collapsed barn beam last winter. Since then, Eliza became everything: daughter, mother, provider, protector. And now even that was being taken away. The debt. One cold morning, Sheriff Dalton arrived with 2 men and a folded paper. "Eliza Harper," he called. She stepped onto the porch, wiping flour from her hands. "That's me." He handed her the notice. "Your father owed $300 to Mr. Crawford. Loan against the farm. Payment overdue. 3 days." Her stomach turned. $300 may as well have been 3,000. "There must be some mistake," she said quietly. "No mistake." From across the road, a carriage rolled forward. Inside sat Silas Crawford, the richest man for 50 miles. Fat fingers covered in rings. Smile like rotten fruit. He tipped his hat. "Pay by Sunday, Miss Harper, or the farm becomes mine." Her brothers, Ben and Tommy, stood in the doorway behind her. Her mother coughed weakly from inside. Eliza's hands trembled. "This land is all we have." Silas smiled wider. "Then I suggest you become creative." The carriage rolled away. That night, Eliza cried where no one could hear. The devil's offer. The next day, she went into town begging for work, loans, anything. No one had money. At the saloon, whispers followed her. "She's desperate. Crawford wants that land, or wants her." Then old Martha, the saloon keeper, pulled Eliza aside. "There may be one man who could help. I don't need pity. You need money." Martha leaned closer. "Ryder Kane." The room fell silent. Everyone knew the name. Ryder Kane. Bank robber, train thief, outlaw. Wanted in 3 states. Said to shoot faster than thunder and vanish like smoke. "He's a murderer," Eliza said. "Maybe, maybe not. But he hates Crawford." "Why?" Martha smirked. "Because Crawford cheats everyone, including thieves." Eliza should have walked away. Instead, she asked, "Where do I find him?" "Into the canyon." At sunset, Eliza rode her father's old horse into Blackstone Canyon. Wind screamed through the rocks. Coyotes cried in the distance. She nearly turned back 3 times. Then a voice came from the dark. "Step off the horse slowly." A gun barrel touched her neck. She froze. From behind the rocks emerged 3 armed men. Then another figure stepped forward. Tall, broad shoulders, black coat, eyes colder than midnight. "Ryder Kane, you got courage," he said. "Or no sense. I need help. Most people who seek me need help. I need $300. The gang laughed. Ryder didn't. "And what do I get?" She swallowed hard. "Anything I can give." His gaze sharpened. "Careful with promises." He circled her like a wolf measuring prey. Then he said words she never expected. "Marry me." Silence. Her breath caught. What? One legal wife makes certain things easier. Property claims. Bank signatures. Town business. "You marry me, I pay your debt." The men laughed louder. Eliza stared at him in horror. "You're insane." "Maybe." She turned to leave. Ryder spoke again. "Your family loses the farm in 2 days." She stopped. He was right. The canyon wind howled around them. At last she whispered, "No tricks. No lies. No touching." A faint smile crossed his face. "You negotiate boldly. Do we have a deal?" Ryder extended his hand. She hated herself for taking it. Wedding in the dust. The next morning, in an abandoned chapel with broken windows, Eliza Harper married Ryder Kane. The preacher was drunk. The witnesses were criminals. The ring was plain silver. When the vows ended, Ryder handed her a satchel heavy with coins. "Take it home." She snatched it. "This changes nothing." He nodded calmly. "Maybe." She rode away before he could say another word. Hollow Creek reacts. When Eliza returned and paid the debt, the town exploded with gossip. She married the outlaw. She sold herself. She's cursed. Crawford's face burned red when he learned he'd lost the farm. He cornered her outside the store. You think Kane can protect you forever? I think watching you lose was worth the trouble. He stepped close. You'll regret crossing me. She didn't flinch. Get in line. Husband and stranger. Ryder came to the farm 3 days later. Her brothers hid behind barrels, staring at the famous outlaw. Her mother, pale but wise, watched him carefully. You feed horses? Eliza asked coldly. I can. You mend fences? I can. You leave? Sometimes. He smirked and got to work. Days became weeks. Ryder repaired the roof, fixed wagon wheels, chopped wood, and somehow made Tommy laugh. At night he slept in the barn. He never touched her, never demanded anything, never even entered her room. This confused Eliza more than threats would have. One evening she asked, "Why help us?" He shrugged. "Because I said I would." "That's not enough." "It is for me." The truth about Ryder Kane. Months passed. Then one stormy night, bounty hunters came. 5 of them. They surrounded the barn. Eliza woke to gunfire. Ryder pushed through the kitchen door. "Stay down." Shots shattered windows. Ben screamed. Without hesitation, Ryder grabbed the boy and shielded him with his own body. Then he went outside into the rain. What followed sounded like war. When silence returned, 3 hunters were tied up, 2 had fled, and Ryder staggered back bleeding from the shoulder. Eliza tore fabric and pressed it to the wound. "Sit still. You giving orders now, wife?" "Shut up." As she cleaned the blood, she noticed old scars across his back. Whip scars. Who did this? He stared at the wall. "My father." She looked up. "He was worse than me." That night, for the first time, he told her truth. He had robbed corrupt men, not poor ones. He once worked for Crawford transporting gold, until discovering Crawford murdered workers for profit. Ryder stole back money and became hunted. "People call me outlaw," he said quietly. "Sometimes law deserves breaking." Eliza said nothing, but something inside her shifted. Love grows like fire. Winter came. Snow dusted the plains. Ryder stayed. He taught Ben to ride, Tommy to carve wood, and Eliza how to shoot. "You hold anger in your shoulders," he told her. "I have reasons. Use them." She fired. "Hit the bottle clean." He grinned. "There she is." One night by the fire, she laughed so hard at one of his stories that tears came. Then she realized she was laughing with her outlaw husband. Their eyes met. The room went quiet. Slowly, gently, Ryder reached for her hand. This time she didn't pull away. Crawford strikes back. Silas Crawford was losing workers, respect, and business. He blamed Ryder, so he hired killers. They came at dawn with torches. The barn burned first, then the fields. Eliza rushed outside coughing smoke. Ryder dragged her behind the well as bullets tore through wood. Her mother and brothers escaped through the back. Crawford himself rode forward. "Last chance, Eliza," he shouted. "Come with me and they live." Rage like lightning filled her. Before Ryder could move, Eliza took the rifle. She fired. The bullet struck Crawford's shoulder, spinning him from the saddle. Chaos erupted. Ryder and the boys fought like wolves. The hired men fled when 2 fell. Crawford crawled through the mud, screaming curses. Eliza stood over him. "You tried to buy us." She leveled the gun. "You should have learned we were never for sale." Sheriff Dalton arrived with townsfolk who had finally chosen sides. Seeing witnesses and evidence of arson, Dalton arrested Crawford. The mighty man begged. No one listened. Real vows. The farm was damaged, but alive. So were they. That evening, Ryder packed his saddlebag. Eliza found him at the gate. "You leaving? It's safer now." "For who?" "For you." She stepped closer. "You fool." He frowned. "I married you for money," she said. "I know. I stayed because I had to." "I know. I love you because you earned it." Ryder Kane, feared across 3 states, stood speechless. Then she kissed him under the rising dawn. Not out of bargain, not out of survival, out of choice. He dropped the saddlebag. "Guess I'm staying." 1 year later, the farm thrived again. New fences, healthy cattle, laughter in every room. Her mother recovered strength. Ben and Tommy bragged that their brother-in-law could outshoot storms. Ryder was no saint, but Hollow Creek saw the truth now. Sometimes a man gets named villain because villains write the story first. On their anniversary, Eliza wore the same silver ring. Regret marrying an outlaw? Ryder asked. She smiled. Only that I didn't negotiate for 2 kisses. He pulled her close. You drive a hard bargain, wife. The sun set golden over the fields they saved together. And in a land where greed ruined many, love had stolen a victory. Final line. She married an outlaw to save her family, and discovered the most dangerous man in the West had the gentlest heart of all.